Hi guys! So today I wanted to offer you a short practice for your hamstrings because tight hamstrings often lead to lower back pain and they prevent you from enjoying a normal yoga practice, and it's quite common for us to have tight hamstrings, especially if we have a seated job or spend a lot of hours driving, and just in a normal life we tend to sit way too much in comparison to what we need to be doing standing. So this is a short practice to offer you some relief in that area and also hopefully relieve you from lower back pain, which can be caused by tight hamstrings. So let's get started. We will start with a sun salutation, just with a slight variation at the down dog. So we're just going to do 2 sun salutations, but normally if you have more time, you can of course add and use more sun salutations of the same sort. Come to Tadasana. Take a deep breath, reset your breath. Feet together, inner ankles together, lift up the chest, draw the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the palms up. Look behind your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. You can bend the knees here if you need to. Release the hands down, face towards the shins. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to plank. You can drop the knees down, that's your practice. And then going down to Chaturanga. Inhale, go up to your upward facing dog. Exhale, go to your down dog, and here we're going to shift slightly. We're going to draw the right heel towards the ground whilst we bend the left knee. Really give the back of the right thigh and calf a chance to open. And then inhale, change sides. And then exhale one more time. And then inhale, lengthen the left side and the right knee. Really draw that heel down. Don't worry if it doesn't get to the ground, that's fine. Whilst you're doing it, keep sending the hips back and away from the head. And then one more time with your breath. Lifting the kneecap. Just observing the sensations in the hamstrings and the calf. And the last one. And then send both legs down towards the ground. So lift up the shoulders away from the ears. Deepen the breath. And then walk with the feet towards the hands, keeping the hands in contact with the ground for as long as you can. Release the head. And then inhale, lift up. Look behind the thumbs. Exhale. Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, lift the palms up. Look behind the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. You can use your block here or bend the knees if you need to, not a problem. Inhale. Half lift or place the hands on the shins if that's easier. Exhale, step back to plank as we did. Or if it's your practice, you can drop the knees down. And then here, really with control, keeping the elbows close to the waist, draw the chest down. And here we can come to your cobra or your upward facing dog. Exhale. And again, your down dog with a hamstring stretch. I find this a bit more beneficial if I slow down and stay in the pose for a few breaths. And then when your right leg is extended and straight, you can take the head and look over underneath the left armpit. And then straighten the left and bend the right knee. Look underneath the right armpit. And one more time. And then send both legs back, straightening both legs, sending the heels down towards the ground. Seeing what your body wants to do. And then walking with the feet towards the front of the mat. Exhale, head down. Inhale, lift the palms up, look at your thumbs. Lift up, lower ribs high. Exhale, Tadasana. So like I said, if you have more time, you can always lengthen this practice and add a few more. And here we're going to come straight to a forward fold, again with a hamstring variation. Placing the palms on your waist, drawing the shoulders back, elbows back, lifting up the chest. Look up. Keeping the legs straight if you can. Draw the torso forward. And release the hands onto your block or the ground, or if you can, take hold of your big toes from outside in and bind with your fingers. Inhale, half lift. Look ahead. Exhale, release the head down. Deepen your breath, draw the belly in. Keep the kneecaps lifted if you can. And then we're going to go for a variation again. I'm going to show this from the side, it might be easier to see. So here we're going to place the right hand on the ground and bend the right heel, keeping the left leg straight and kneecap lifted, just like we did in the downward dog. And then inhale, lift the left hand up. Lift up the fingers of the left hand up to the ceiling, broaden across the chest. And you might want to add just here, that's plenty of practice, you can feel it in both legs. Or if you want, you can add a variation. A little bit harder. Draw the back of the hand towards the right side of your waist. And then we're going to thread that right hand underneath the right thigh. Turn the hand as well and look for a bind. So, your hands are binding just outside your right thigh, and then you open the chest up, look up to the ceiling and draw the left shoulder away from the left ear. Ooh, I can feel it in the hamstrings for sure. And the insertion right here towards the glute. Then we're going to exhale, release both hands, lift up the left hand and straighten the leg, release the hands down. I'm going to show you this from the other side with another variation. Maybe we can do it with a belt here. So if you find that's just quite challenging, no worries, it's a hard pose. So we're going to go straight to the other side. So here we're going to bend the left knee, place the left hand on the ground or under the block, lift up the right hand up and turn the back of the right hand towards the spine. And let's say you know this is just not going to happen without help. So use your belt, or you can use a bathrobe, bathrobe belt, or anything you want. And then here, rather than looking for a full bend, you can use your strap this way. And here the same idea. We're going to open the chest up and look up through the right shoulder. Draw the right shoulder away from the right ear. Deepen the breath. And then over time you might want to find your bind. It might take a couple of weeks or months, that's fine. Release the hand, lift up the right hand up. Exhale, straighten both legs, place both hands on the hips. Exhale here. Inhale, lift up. Very nice. Let's remove our belt, kick to the side, and come to the front of the mat again. Here we're going to step back with the left leg, bend the right knee, and come to a high lunge with the right knee bent. With control, we're going to drop the left knee onto the ground and draw the right knee over the toes of the right foot. So now we're stretching the front of the left thigh, opening the chest, creating length here in the front of the left thigh, in the psoas, and opening the chest as well. And then we're going to shift the torso back, place the hands on the hips, balance the hips, so make sure that they're level, so one is not coming up. We might need to press that right hip a little bit farther down. And then I want to release the toes of the left foot. Makes it easier for me to keep balance, but it's up to you. And then we're going to straighten that right leg, flex the foot, maybe slide it slightly forward. Inhale, lift the hands up. And without rounding the shoulders, drawing the belly close to the thigh, release the hands to the sides. And you can probably feel the stretch in the hamstring right there. I can definitely feel it. So you can use your blocks here. This is quite challenging. You can use whole palms down or just fingertips, whichever one is easier. And then here with control, we're going to point the toes and flex the toes. Point the toes and flex the toes. One more. And exhale. And then with control, we're going to place the foot right where we headed. Come back one more for one breath to Anahata. Opening the heart here and lengthening the front of the thigh. And then keep it easy today. We're just going to change sides. So draw the right knee down and go straight to the left side. Square the hips. Draw the left knee over the left toe. Inhale, lift up the hand. Open the chest, look up, send the hands back while sending the hips forward. Feeling that stretch now in the right thigh if you can. Deepening the breath. And then exhale, place the hands back down. And slide the foot forward, flex the foot, lift up the chest. Inhale, lift the hands up, try to not keep yourself balanced, not to get too wobbly. If you're struggling in this pose, try either tucking the toes under or releasing the foot, which one's easier. Draw the belly in, engage the core muscles of your stomach, that will really help. Lift up the hands, and then exhale, belly to the thigh. Try not to round the shoulders and place the hands either flat on the back, on the mat, or on your blocks or on the fingertips. Drawing the chest down. Really enjoying the hamstring stretch. Very nice. And now, work a little bit with pointing the toes and flexing the toes. Lengthening the hamstrings. Giving yourself time to open, working with your breath. One more. And now, place the foot back where it was. With control, engaging your core, come back to high lunge, to just where we began. From lifting the hands back up. And exhale, come back to standing. Beautiful, very nice. Now we're going to go for pyramid pose. So right leg steps forward, left leg steps back. We're going to have about foot distance apart in between the legs. And so you want to offset the left leg a bit more to the left edge of the mat. Square the hips like we did in the first class, the pose before. Lift up the hands. And here you've got options. You can go into a prayer pose on your back or take hold of the opposite elbows, just like so. Lift up the chest. And here it's really important you stay balanced and centered so you don't tilt the torso to either side. You want to stay level as you exhale, keeping the right knee lifted, the kneecap activated, drawing the torso forward. If you're lucky, you might feel a bit of a stretch in the hamstring as well, right? So it's better not to overdo it. If you find you're starting to round the shoulders here or round the back here, just stay in a more parallel position, keeping the legs straight. Inhale, lift up, and we're going to shift over right into the left side, offsetting the right foot to the right edge of the mat, squaring the hips so that it's quite possible you might need to shift the right side of the hip a little bit forward. Inhale, and if you took hold of the opposite elbows, just do the same thing on the other side, or you can do this version of the pose as well, pressing the wrists into the back. Inhale, lift up the head, draw the shoulders back, exhale, fold forward. Find your balance, keep working with your core, lifting up the kneecap, especially of the front leg. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale here, and as you inhale, come up to the front. We're going to come now, transition to your Malasana, your yogic squat, with a variation especially for your hamstrings. So as you inhale, lift the hands up, take them to a prayer pose above your head, and with control, sending the knees down and the hips directly in between your feet. Come to your Malasana, your yogic squat. A favorite pose for some, not for all. So here you can probably feel the stretch of the hamstrings and the inner groin, the inner thigh muscles. If it helps, you might want to swing just gently from side to side. If you find your heels are nowhere near the ground, that's fine. It's just anatomical differences that you might want to roll up the towel or a blanket and put it underneath your heels. From here, we're going to go to Skandasana, a variation. Use a block or support if you find it's hard for you to balance. We're going to straighten one leg, so your left leg, my right, and draw the toe of your left foot towards me. So if you can release the hands to the side and maybe even add a stretch with your hand. But it's perfectly fine. If you cannot, then you can just leave the hands back here in front of you or place them on some form of support. Very good. Now the hard bit is coming forward. So we're going to shift to the upper side. Try to keep your hips as low as possible. And again, adjust the toes now of the right leg, so the right toe is pointed towards me. Lift up the chest and see if you can add a little bit of a stretch. You can keep the hand up front, or you can even press it against the inner thigh here to really open nice and deep. Very good. And almost there, release the hands down and come back to your Malasana, your yogic squat. Deepen the breath. Exhale, release the hips down and come directly to a forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. Here, definitely working the hamstrings as long as we're engaging the feet. You can try this by pointing the toes and then lifting the feet up. Just see if you flex and point. Observe the sensation of what's happening here. Can you feel the engagement of the back of the thighs? It's hard for us to imagine that the feet bear such importance when it comes to the position of our hamstrings, but they adjust everything. So now when we flex the feet, we're lengthening the hamstrings, lifting up the chest. Inhale, let the hands up. Without rushing, drawing the belly down. Doesn't matter where your faces or your shoulders are in relation to the ground. We're trying to find the length in the belly. And tiptoe forward. That's it. Place your hands on the block or a blanket. Keep the feet active and just see what happens. Point the toes, flex the toes. Exhale, release the head down. And walk with the hands as far as you can towards the front. Good job. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And then exhale, release, and come back up. Deep breath, reset your breathing. Gently take hold behind your knees, lift up the legs and draw them back together. And we're going to come to our last pose. Again, using our belt or your bathrobe strap. If you know you're quite flexible in the hamstrings, you don't need to worry about the strap, but it's nice to do it with. So here with control, we're going to come to lying down, adjust on your mat. And then as you inhale, keeping the left leg really rooted in the ground, so you can flex the left foot and make sure the left thigh and the hamstring muscles are in contact with the ground as much as possible. And then we're going to take the right leg and lift it up. So if you're quite flexible, you can take hold of the big toe or the foot even, or just take hold behind the calf. But it's nice to work with the belt because it provides us with more stability and we can really work on those hamstrings. So as you inhale, Lift up the right foot, send it as close to the face as you can, keeping the chin down. And take a couple of breaths here. And then as you exhale, you can place the left hand on the top of your left thigh to really press it down. And try to keep the left side of your rib cage rooted in the ground. As you exhale, gently shift the right foot and the whole leg to the side, as close to the ground as you can, without lifting off that left shoulder. Flex that left foot and just observe what's happening with both hips. Give your body time. Deepen the breath. And then inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the foot towards the face one last time. Exhale, release the belt. And with control, release the left leg onto the floor. You might already have a sensation that the right leg is now longer than the right. Or that the right leg is longer than the left. It's just because we released a bit of tension from the hamstrings and the thigh muscles and from the hip socket. So here we can do it with the belt. I'll just show you how I do it without the belt, what you can work towards, but here the challenge is more about not lifting up too much of the torso. So as you inhale, draw the leg towards the face. Deepen your breath. Keep your right hand on top of the right thigh. Keep lifting that kneecap. See, my leg wants to bend. And keep drawing the leg directly over the face. And exhale with control. Send the left leg towards the left. You can even open and look to the opposite direction if it helps you. So sending the face to the right, if it helps you root in the ground. So it's all about finding the balance, because if I send the leg way too long, you see my right leg starts lifting up. So you want to keep the leg on the ground. Don't sacrifice that. It might mean that you send the leg a little bit higher, that's fine. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale. Inhale, draw the leg a little bit towards the face one last time. And then exhale, release the leg down. Great job. This is your hamstrings practice. If you have 2 minutes, please come to your final relaxation and Shavasana. Stay for as long as you like. And if you don't, then do it anyway. And I shall see you soon in our practice again. Thank you.